Hi everyone, I'm Ricardo from Veloce QV, Instagram down here on the side, and welcome to my Alfa Romeo Mito Quadrifoglio bag.
He says that so well. All right, look at it. Look how beautiful this is. You've just seen from all those beauty shots what a gorgeous looking car this is, and you do not see them anywhere. So tell us about it.
Nice, so yeah, touching on what Matt's just said there, you know, especially here in the UK, they're so rare. I mean, you will hardly see, we'll call it a QV, just to shorten it down.
Do the name one more time.
Quadrifoglio Verde. Cloverleaf tool.
I love it.
Yeah, you hardly see them. Fantastic little cars. You know, it's a pocket rocket. That's what I literally refer to it as. 180 brake out of the factory in normal mode, because with all modern Alfa Romeos, which actually started on the Mito, you have a DNA driver selector switch. DNA standing for dynamic, which is the most sporty mode. Normal, where the car will just be your standard driving mode, and all weather, which I guess for snow and torrential rain.
But in Britain, it's always in that, because rain. No, to be fair, today it's quite a lovely day actually. So,
but in dynamic mode, this is where the car literally comes to life. I mean, for the money and the performance you're getting, in my opinion, nothing will come close to it. In terms of the colour, I'll be honest, I was actually looking for my first Alfa to be red, because obviously, you know, Alfa Romeo red, it's a symbolic colour. But I'll be honest, went down to the dealership, they had a red one and this white one beside it. As soon as I saw the white, I fell in love with it instantly. It just, I'm not quite sure how it comes up on camera all the time, but it is a white pearlescent, and when the sun hits it in a certain way, the colour is beautiful. You get that sort of champagne-y pops, and it's just a lovely colour, and I think it suits the car so well. It really, really does. So, performance. Now, this is the beating heart of this baby. It's, believe it or not, it's actually a 1.4, but it's not just any old 1.4. It's the Fiat Group's derived multi-air range. So, what is multi-air? Multi-air is electronically derived. So it's going to be using that electronic capabilities, which is on the top of the engine block there. Effectively what it does, it electronically controls the valve system, and through that it's able to increase output by up to 30% on the standard 1.4, so the older variants of the car, well, ones that are not the QV. Fuel efficiency goes up as well by 25%, which, okay, I know if you're buying a hot hatch and an Alfa Romeo in general, you're not really worried about fuel economy, are you? But it's a great thing to have. I'm not complaining. It saves the wallet a bit. And in terms of the turbo that's on here as well, so it's a Garrett turbo. It's not actually the same as the Garrett turbos that are on the Abarth Rangers. And just as we've said before with turbos, Matt, that whooshing sensation when you go on the throttle and lift off, it sounds
can't
amazing.
Beat the stews, man. It's all about the stews.
It sounds amazing. And well, turbo lag, it was always one thing that I was a little bit apprehensive with before I actually test drove the car. And I tell you what, it's literally, especially in dynamic mode, it's non-existent.
Oh wow.
You go for the throttle and I put it into second gear,
it's there.
Right, so coming into the interior on the Alfa Romeo Mito, I just think it's just a lovely place to be. I mean, with the options I've got here, leather galore, these seats they're a thing of beauty. I mean, they're so comfortable, they're sporty. You've got the Alfa Romeo logo here actually embroidered, rather than it just being printed on, which is just beautiful. I mean, the fine detail as well, with obviously the QV, green, see cloverleaf, green primary focus there. The stitching actually being in green as well. Just little details like that really makes the car stand out. The dashboard with this carbon fibre look finish. It's soft touch as well, so you know, it just feels really nice and premium. The seating position as well, I'm finding a lot with modern day hatchbacks, you're not really sat in the car, you're sort of sat on top of it because of a really high seating position. Thankfully in the Mito that's nothing to worry about. It's a really nice low seating position, makes the car feel sportier as well, and it does really make you feel like you're in something special. Right, so what's the car like to drive? It's got a split personality. I think that's the best way to describe it. So when you know you're pootling along, just in just normal everyday driving, that commute to work or in traffic, have the car in normal mode. It's a nice relaxing drive. Just feels like a bit more of your hardcore normal hatchback. The steering's got a nice weight to it, and you're in nice comfortable seats. What more can you ask for? But then if we go down for this button here, which is where the magic happens, and we put it into dynamic, you touch the throttle and it takes off. You're in a completely different car. So from being in that mundane little hatchback, you're now in a hot hatch where what the car is. And away you go. So what actually happens in dynamic mode? Well, the steering becomes a bit more weighty. Now, by that, it is electric steering, but it doesn't feel artificial in the way to how the weight comes in. So if you're going round a roundabout, or you're on a nice B road for example, you've got confidence in what the front end's actually doing. You know where those tyres are, so when you're approaching the corner, you're fine. You have that belief in the car. Throttle response is instantaneous, so literally just a little dab on the throttle and you're in the next postcode effectively. I think that's the best way to describe it. And even the brakes. Now, when I first bought the car, it was a lot of getting used to. It's not as sensitive as say what these modern brake-by-wire systems are, but because it's running 4-pot Brembo brakes, which was made in collaboration with Alfa Romeo, specifically for this car, the brakes are sharp. Now, as I just said, the pedal response becomes really, really firm, and it takes a while to get used to, but once you're used to that, you have confidence that the car's actually just going to stop. If you've got the power, well, quite simply, you need brakes that's going to stop you, don't you? Another little thing that I absolutely adore about this car is the dynamic suspension. Now, dynamic suspension on a car that when it was brand new cost between £26,000 to £27,000 was unheard of. So what does the dynamic suspension do? So in normal mode, again, it just feels like your normal hatchback. Any potholes or anything, the car will cope with it absolutely fine. But as soon as you put it in dynamic, the ride height will drop, the suspension stiffens up, and you've got a car that body roll becomes non-existent. And if you were to track the car, for example, I have no doubt, I haven't personally tracked it yet, but I have no doubt that once you're in that sporty mode on the suspension, the car's going to handle like an absolute dream, because on the road you feel that difference. It's like night and day.